IKEA, long live the home.
With fall weather comes fall beers and all the wonderful flavors of the season. Pumpkin, gingerbread, orange leaves. No, you don't have that. But you do have a variety to choose from. And to show us some of the wonderful food pairings to go with the beer is Vern Lamborn. He's the brewmaster from Granville Island Brewing Company, and we welcome him to CTV Morning Live. Nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for coming. Okay, before we get to the specifics, talk a little bit about the as we have the change in temperature, the change in fall colors, the change in beers.
Well, fall is one of my favorite time for beers. We get a lot more, I think, diversity coming out, a lot more flavors. Fall beers seem to be all about flavor. If you look at all of these here, one thing they all have in common, they're all a little bit darker.
Right.
That generally indicates the use of darker malts. Darker malts have got tons of flavor.
Okay. Well, in addition to darker malts, you're also pumpkining. Tell me about that.
Well, pumpkin ales have become extremely popular in Vancouver. We've been doing one for a few years now. Perfect for Thanksgiving. Pumpkining is a little bit scary. It's even better for Halloween. This is an ale which has pumpkin in it.
Okay.
It's got spices. It's spiced with cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger.
Oh, wow.
So lots of flavor.
And an appropriate style, pumpkining. Yeah. So in terms of pairing, what do you like to serve it with?
Well, when we're pairing food with beers, we want to think about a couple of things. The first one is intensity of flavors.
Okay.
You don't want the food to overpower the beer. You don't want the beer to overpower the food.
Right. And people may find it a little odd to have a dessert, if you will, with the beer, but you like the flavors that come out of it.
As long as the beer has enough body, enough sweetness, you can pair it with something sweet. And this works out really well because these cupcakes, gingerbread cupcakes, aren't too sweet.
Right.
So it works out quite nice.
Excellent. All right, what do we have next?
This is the Lion's Winter Ale. 10th year of the Lion's Winter Ale this year. Flavors of sweeter malts, and then, boom, hits you with chocolate.
And what do we have here?
This is paired with goat cheese truffle, rolled in smoked paprika, and pumpkin seeds. The smokiness goes well with the dark malts and the chocolate and the goat's cheese.
I know you're not a chef, but a brewmaster, but this looks relatively easy to make, right? A little goat cheese and just roll around some paprika and add the pumpkin seeds.
Absolutely. You could do that at home, no problem.
Okay. Make it a little complicated here. Yeah. Tell us about the beer before you tell us about the food.
Okay. Well, this is the Kitsilano Maple Cream Ale.
Okay.
It is malt forward, so it's, again, more about the malts. Sweeter, bready flavors, caramel flavors, rather than sort of citrus, fruity flavors from hops.
Malt forward.
Malt forward.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got it paired with?
Yeah, this is chicken and pecan bites.
Okay.
With a honey bourbon dip. Deep fried, that fried flavors, nice browning, goes really well with the beer. Yeah.
Okay. And then what do we have here with the shrimp?
Well, these are smoky prawns with a cumin dip. And we've paired that up. We're switching gears here.
Okay.
We've had 3 ales, and we're moving to lagers. These beers are out-of-town beers, but they are 2 of my fall favorites.
Oh, okay.
Creemore Springs traditional lager, a little bit of a darker lager.
Okay.
It's nice for the fall because it's football season too, you know, and who doesn't want a lager while they're watching some football? Goes great with the prawns.
How far in advance, I mean, obviously you want it ready to go in time for the fall and Thanksgiving and Halloween, but how far in advance do you have to start preparing your recipes and actually preparing the beers?
Well, really the recipes, if it's a beer that's being done year over year for the season, I'll start thinking about the recipes when I've finished the previous one. Is there anything I want to change?
Okay.
Right? For most of them, I don't change.
Right.
But some of them, like the pumpkining, I'll play around with. Everything needs to be in order 2 months before it gets released, and then you can start planning for brewing, and away you go.
It's funny how far in advance you have to think about this time of year when you're enjoying the sunshine of the summer.
Well, now I'm thinking about spring already. So.
Really? Wow. Last but not least?
Okay, last but not least, this is brand new in BC. It's called Mad and Noisy. It's
Mad and Noisy.
Yeah. Maybe that's how you get after a few. I don't know. Imperial India Pale Lager.
Okay.
So it's like an India Pale Ale. It's hopped like that, but it's a lager base. So a little crisper, but great for fall. Again, a little bit darker, lots of flavors.
For a lot of people make their own beer and lager here in not only in Vancouver and Metro Vancouver area, but also in British Columbia.
Yeah.
As a brewmaster, what tip might you have whether you're making an ale or a lager for people out there who may be trying this at home?
Well, if you're trying this at home, to me the most critical part is temperature. Ales are okay with things a little warmer. Lagers like it a little colder. So this is a good time of year to start doing your lagers if you want to do it at home.
Okay.
I wouldn't do lagers in the summer at all.
Okay, good advice there. And the other bit of advice is, why don't you just go to Granville Island or pick up some Granville Island Brewing Company products wherever they're available. For more information about what Vern's been talking about and the perfect pairings as far as food's concerned, just go to our website, ctvmorninglive.ca. Happy Halloween, my friend.
Thanks
Thank you for joining us. Good to see you.
Excellent. Good to be here.
We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live in just a moment. Stick around.
Here's a challenge for you. Head to the